Tonight, 2 Channel 6 Action News specials. First, gays and lesbians forced to lead secret lives are fighting discrimination. Soon, Broward voters will decide whether to give them equal rights. Giselle Fernandez reports Secret Lives, the Gay Dilemma.
What do you want? Gay rights! When do you want them? Now!
It's a community fighting for acceptance.
Now!
In the churches.
The old idea that homosexuality is against God's law is patently false.
In their homes.
I can't imagine having a relationship without children.
And on the streets.
I never had a broken jaw
because someone gay bashed me. I still have a shoulder out of place.
There's a biblical basis for condemnation. There's a very strong social basis for condemnation. And it's illegal, it's against the law, it is a crime.
Virus, it's those commie-spotted bags that are starting this country to fall.
They are fighting for social justice, and until they get it, many will continue to live secret lives. Good evening, everyone. I'm Giselle Fernandez, and that's tonight's focus. It starts with a vote on gay rights that's coming up in Broward County. But as you will see, it's an issue that's much larger than this precedent-setting referendum, one that seems to push every social hot button, from politics, sex, religion, even marriage and children. Patrick Mahoney is a female impersonator at one of Broward County's hottest gay nightclubs. In the stage persona of Patty Cakes, he is the exaggerated stereotype many in society perceive as the typical homosexual.
I don't want to shock people because it is a stereotype, and I don't think it's not a true it's not the stereotype that I would want to see projected being a gay man. You know, if I did not do drag, I would be very offended if every time a gay something came on, it was just drag, drag, drag.
But whether Patrick likes it or not, that's exactly what many heterosexuals do think. Even in 1990, glimpses of gay culture are often limited in scope, more like snapshots of the more public and at times outrageous moments. Drag queen shows and gay bars are easily accessible to the media, and the footage aired is clearly sexy and sensational. It is also a limited reflection of who comprises this community. But efforts to access the professional gays who do live quiet mainstream lives is not so easy. As we found, they are out there, but many won't emerge from the shadows.
I'm a professor.
I'm a school teacher for Dade County.
I'm an accountant.
I'm a computer analyst.
We met gay people from virtually every profession, every economic bracket, every nationality, religion, and color. But we found many are afraid to come forward to help break down those false stereotypes, and may have every reason to be. In the state of Florida, as in most states across the nation, you can be fired or denied housing just for being gay. Their fears may be well-founded. Just ask Brad Buckman. He says he was fired just 1 month after being promoted.
And I said, this is because I'm gay, isn't it? And he just smiled. And I said, you know, this is wrong. And I'm like,
we went to Brad's former boss, and he denies firing anyone for being gay. He even showed us a document from Brad's file that stated Brad voluntarily quit.
he's absolutely lying. You're never going to find a man of his stature in this community that's going to stand up and say, yeah, I don't like queers.
We get lots of calls based on that same issue. However, at this particular time, we are not empowered to do anything about it.
Gloria Battle heads up Broward's Human Relations Division, where she says complaints of gay discrimination in jobs and in housing come in all the time. But now, in a growing political movement, gays and lesbians in Broward are trying to change that. June's Gay Pride Parade in Miami Beach also kicked off a major campaign drive for a precedent-setting referendum, asking Broward voters to ban gay discrimination in jobs and in housing and in public accommodations. Brad Buckman is one of the amendment's co-founders and a leading gay activist.
My name is Brad Richard Buckman, and I'm proud to be gay. We are making noise. We are telling our our elected officials that discrimination not prohibited by government is implicitly affirmed by government, and that is wrong.
We told you many gay professionals won't come out of the closet. But as you can see here, more and more outraged by the AIDS crisis and fed up with discrimination are deciding to take a stand, risk all, and go public. Not all, but a growing number are joining the fight and slowly swelling the ranks of activists at the front lines.
When all else fails, we've got to insist on legal rights, just as the civil rights movement for racial minorities in this country didn't really get off the ground until the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was enacted, and the follow-up laws to it. Sometimes the legal protections pave the way for society to become a more understanding body of public.
But efforts to secure gay rights in the past have failed here. 13 years ago, in Dade County, a major campaign against gay rights succeeded at the polls. It was 1977. Former Miss America Anita Bryant led a successful crusade to repeal a gay rights law. But times in the 90s, say gay activists, have drastically changed. What kind of battle do you think is ahead for you?
On the referendum? Compared to 77, I have not seen the organized hate resistance. I think we have a reasonable chance. I think people are starting to see that we're not purple and green monsters, and that the good old American sense of fair play may carry the day.
While recent polls do show America more tolerant of gays, 77% in favor of equal rights, they still face strong political and social and religious opposition. Republican gubernatorial candidate Anthony Martin is one of the most vocal opponents against the Broward Amendment.
I think people are still, under our system of laws, entitled to have moral views which are stricter than the morals of the common street. And I think that we've got to respect that, and we can't legislate conservative morality out of existence, and this is what the liberal Democrats are trying to do. We have a right not to associate with those who disagree with us. We have a right not to do business with them. We have a right not to live with them. And what they're trying to do is force themselves to associate with people whose moral beliefs, whose religious beliefs, whose social beliefs disagree with them, and who find it offensive.
Until the votes are counted, no one knows for sure how the residents of this county, known for its bedroom communities with tree-lined streets, will actually vote. Broward is perceived by many to be a good place to build a life and raise a family. It seems to be a sharp contrast to Key West, an area known to have a large gay population. Actually, Broward is already one of the top 4 choices in this country to relocate if you are gay or lesbian. Still, the chair of Broward's Republican Party is avidly against the family community becoming a mecca for gays, and will also lead strong opposition to the September referendum.
Well, I do feel that if it's passed, more gays will come from all over, not all over even the country, but all over the world will gravitate toward here. And I feel, you know, more people with AIDS will, too.
Governor Martinez does not believe the referendum is necessary. He says he believes gays and lesbians need no special protection under the law.
Rights, whether the color of their eyes are brown or green or whatever else.
Doesn't include sexual orientation.
Well, I'm saying that they're protected. You have to accept my word that they're protected. I believe they are.
Well, you have to take my word for it. That's not true. Gays and lesbians are fired and denied housing and denied their rights to public accommodations on a regular basis.
We are changing the course of history in our state, and we must win by as big a margin as possible so as to send a message to Dade County, Monroe County, Orange County, and the rest.
Secret Lives, the gay dilemma, will continue.
Welcome back to our program, Secret Lives, the Gay Dilemma. I'm Giselle Fernandez. The political battle in Broward County over this gay rights amendment is just one of many the gay community faces. But at least in politics, both sides can plan their strategies. They know who their opponents are. Sometimes, however, the battles that gays and lesbians face are in the streets, and they don't even know it. It's called gay bashing. Strike. South Florida Florida, gay hotspots. Here, as in gay clubs around the country, it is safe to be openly gay. Or is it? It might be safe on the inside where gays are among brothers, but outside, these sanctuaries are more and more becoming target sites, hunting grounds for unsuspecting prey. It's a new phenomenon. It's called gay bashing.
Why? Because they come over here and they make out over here. They park all the cars over here. And, you know, they do all kinds of stuff here.
How do you feel about them being gay?
How do I feel about them? I feel they should be killed.
Doug and Patrick are just two of the latest victims. It happened 4 nights before this interview. While having a drink and talking, they didn't know they were about to violently collide with someone's bitter hatred.
This was Saturday night, Friday night.
Friday night.
You just walked out of the bar at 1:30.
Right, and we were walking this way. I feel someone walk behind me. I turn around. Okay, right where you are. Stop, right here. He jumped from where you're standing, kicked me with both feet, then landed on the ground, and then his 2 friends came from behind the bushes right there and started beating my friend with the nunchuck.
After he kicked him, he hit me,
He turned
and I
around and
grabbed
started
him.
punching Doug.
You have, I know, a scar here on your chin from where they kicked you initially. Is that right?
That's right.
Like on my hand and my elbow from being knocked down on the pavement.
They had such anger and such hatred, I just couldn't believe it.
You guys live in the neighborhood?
Doug and Patrick shared their story with others in the neighborhood and found they weren't alone.
I've still got my shoulder dislocated.
Well, I nearly had oh my God. I nearly had a broken jaw.
Because someone gay bashed me. I still have a shoulder out of place.
Oh,
But
wow.
I still live and let live.
Boy, that looks like it's very painful.
It hurts a lot.
It's like my jaw.
It happens to lesbians as well.
I kissed my girlfriend in Peacock Park in Coconut Grove and was attacked by a group of teenage boys.
Those commie-spotted fags.
The incidences of hate crimes is way on the increase. For example, Fort Lauderdale, an AIDS hospice was burned twice last year. We have a gentleman in Tallahassee who was beat up by several teenagers. People all across the state being beat up, being killed, and the judge in Fort Lauderdale who commented that he didn't think it was a crime to beat up homosexuals.
Some aren't even safe in their own homes, as Ralph Seaman will tell you. After 20 years, he's selling his life investment.
I'm angry, frustrated. What is this world coming to?
Ralph and his lover Gary feel like captives in their own home, like they're caged birds injured by shattering glass when a hate rock came crashing through their window.
It came through the front windows here. There was glass strewed from one end of this room to the other.
Ralph is selling everything he owns and is moving out.
I will not have my life threatened by anybody. Nobody will ever threaten my life again. I mean, I've been to the police as a gentleman with no response.
All he has left, he says, is Gary and the support of his family, who today told him,
"We care."
But not everyone cares.
We got to get rid of those fags and just send them out somewhere else, man. We don't
People are afraid of the things that they don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. And when they're afraid of something, it manifests itself in a dislike. But I think it's fear of the unknown, and that, you know, if people just knew us, that they wouldn't have anything to be afraid of. It wouldn't be so weird anymore. And I wish more people would come out. I really do. I think it would make life a lot easier for everybody.
But it wouldn't be easy for everyone. Some gay people believe the AIDS crisis is at the root of growing discrimination.
Everybody immediately insists that if you're homosexual, you have AIDS, and that's so ignorant that it's frustrating, okay? AIDS is not it is a sexually transmitted disease, but it is not a homosexual disease.
Religious and moral opposition are also cited as strong reasons for homophobia.
We're both clergymen, and we subscribe to what Scripture says about it. I believe that homosexuals are different than homosexuality. That's the sin. The homosexual is the sinner. And there's hope for him, of course, but not as he practices his sin.
When I came out, I couldn't go to church with my parents anymore.
They wouldn't let you go to church with you?
No, they claimed I'm putting a curse on the family by going to church and taking communion, and at the same time being gay.
I can only say that there's a biblical basis for condemnation. There's a very strong social basis for condemnation. And it's illegal, it's against the law, it is a crime in Florida.
What I have to say, isn't this the land of the free? I mean, can't we be free to live our own lives and to make our own decisions?
Right.
I mean, that's what America's all about.
Secret Lives, the Gay Dilemma will continue.
Should South Florida gays be given equal rights? A Channel 6 special tonight at 10. Welcome back to Secret Lives, the Gay Dilemma. It is very obvious that gays and lesbians live their lives against the grain of mainstream culture. But a closer look reveals that in many ways those lives are very similar. They just live them without the protections guaranteed the heterosexual community. But what happens when it just doesn't work out that way? Eric and Juan Carlos have been living together for 4 years now in downtown Miami. Both are professionals. Eric, a top real estate agent, Juan, a teacher. Together, they have a joint checking account, own property, a dog, and hope someday to adopt a child. They have dreams for the future. Do you consider yourselves married?
Yes, yeah. And it's unfortunate that we can't legalize it.
No.
You know,
and that's a source of a major source of discrimination. I mean, when heterosexuals get married, you have the sanction of the state and the church. When you go to work, as far as insurance is concerned, if we were legally married, my health insurance would cover him.
And these days, that's a relatively important
That's
factor.
very important.
Particularly now with the AIDS crisis. Because homosexual marriages are illegal, there is no protection for partners in sickness or in death.
Whatever the tragic circumstance, the other party has no protection. They're in the same kind of a relationship as a married couple, but for the marriage license.
Which can also leave couples like Eric and Juan Carlos vulnerable in the event of a breakup, if no prior legal arrangements are made.
All I want is for him just to come home.
Several days after our interview, Eric was faced with that very fear.
And I explained this to him this morning. I said, you know, all I have is your word that you will be fair and equitable about the material things.
But the gay community is hoping all this will change and is banking on Broward County to set a precedent for the state in September by banning discrimination against homosexuals in jobs and housing. But this, they hope, is just the first step, that such a law would set the stage for more expanded rights in their private lives. But not all agree.
They're trying to take free love and free morals and free sex and make this society's legal standard of conduct. And I say no, and the majority of the people in Broward and Palm Beach counties say no.
Denied access to straight culture, the gay community has created its own support systems. In a gay church, homosexuals can marry, sanctioned by a secret society striving for equality. So even without society's blessings, gays are finding their own ways to pursue their version of the American dream. As you can see, Eric and Juan Carlos are back together doing just that. They shared their story in hopes the straight world would have a better understanding of gay life. They also hoped other gays who felt alienated would not feel so alone. Dawn is 10 years old and at first glance appears to have a typical family life.
Brenda picks me up after school. My mom drops me off. Brenda picks me up. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Dawn.
I'm only pushing with one foot. Come home, take an hour break, do my homework.
Wrote.
Wrote, W-R-O-T-E. Come out and play again. Hi.
Routine in some ways, but very unique in others. Dawn is being raised by her mother and lesbian lover. Brenda and Pam are one of an estimated 3 to 5 million gay parents raising children in the U.S., either by insemination or prior heterosexual relationships. Brenda had Dawn through a previous marriage.
I saw my mom and Brenda kissing once in the front door. I said, Mom, why do you have to be gay? And I got really confused.
And so when you saw them kiss, what did you think?
I got into shock. I said, oh my God. I like boys and you guys like girls, right? And you're already girls. There's nothing wrong with that. You're already humans.
Unlike other children, Dawn cannot openly talk about her family life. She must keep it a secret. She often plays alone. Brenda and Pam say there are always excuses that keep friends from coming to play. But Dawn does say her best friend asks questions.
She said, Dawn, no, your mom and Brenda are crazy. I said, they're crazy. They sleep in the same bedroom. I don't know how they can do it. I said, the same as your mom and dad.
Dawn is not the only one living a secret life. Her mother, who we're calling Pam, doesn't want to lose her job or her child if she's found out. She works for the city. Brenda, on the other hand, is self-employed, a CPA who works out of her home, and she's proud of her lifestyle.
Do you think Dawn will grow up normally? Yeah.
Why not?
I think she's got people who love her. And I think that's the most important thing.
But there are a lot of people who don't think this is a healthy environment for a child to grow up in.
I think it would be just disastrous to turn kids over to two homosexuals or two lesbians and have them think that this is acceptable conduct in society. It is not. It will not be.
There is something orderly about nature that it reproduces, and this is not one way of doing it.
I think they should have the rights that everybody else has. Equal rights.
You're gonna kiss it.
Psychologists studying the impact gay parents have on children have been inconclusive. As for Dawn's future, she's got it all planned out. Right now, she wants to be a pediatrician.
I think I'll be straight.
Why?
Because I don't know, because I just think I'm straight right now. I'm straight right now. I think I'm going to go straight for the rest of my life.
Secret Lives, the Gay Dilemma, will continue.
Welcome back to Secret Lives, the Gay Dilemma. Many in the gay community are not only facing external battles, many also face internal conflicts. The coming out process, finding self-acceptance, can create its own unique set of problems.
You can't talk to your parents about it, you can't talk to your friends about it, and those are the people I really feel sorry for.
Come to the group. Come to the group and get support.
This is one of the few gay teen support groups in Miami. It's here where young gays and lesbians can come and share their struggles and not feel so alone. Gay teens have the highest suicide rate among young people. How many people here, if you can raise your hand, have thought about killing themselves because you felt isolated in being gay? Okay. How many people here have told their parents and got a negative reaction and felt rejected?
I think there is such a high rate of suicide among gay and lesbian teenagers because there is low self-esteem. Gay and lesbian teens face some very special issues. Isolation has been rated #1. Isolation, lack of information, role models, and resources.
The isolation, as Robert can tell you, can be deadly. He tried to commit suicide 6 months ago.
I was horrified at the aspect of being gay. I felt as if I was not a sinner, because I'm not very religious, but I just felt like a horrible person. I felt like there's a big strike against me. Like I could be the best person on earth, but I was never going to go to heaven. I felt that it was like a black mark against me, and that anybody who found out was going to hate me and say that I should burn in hell.
People think that so many gay teens are suicidal because they're gay, and it's not because they're gay, it's because society doesn't accept them as being gay.
For Martin, positive gay role models and a nurturing environment makes all the difference. Having family troubles at home, he came to live with Brian and Patrick, who are now his unofficial guardians. Brian and Patrick are gay and understand well the conflicts Martin faces. Brian, a high school football player, brought up in a religious family and turned away by his parents, is now comfortable with his lifestyle and provides a positive example for others.
Today, I'm completely acceptable to myself, and that's something that, he will get in time, that I'm exactly who I am supposed to be. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm comfortable, and I'm not doing any harm or causing any pain, and so it's all right with me. And that took a long time, years.
Brian, a recovering alcoholic, also helps others with addictions recover on a 12-step program. Alcoholism and drug abuse are rampant in the homosexual community. Self-denial, poor self-esteem are cited as some of the reasons.
It may very well be much easier to be drunk or drugged than it is to be gay in our society.
This man says the coming out process never ends and can always be difficult.
I've been able to become aware that outside systems will never, at least in my lifetime, give me the kind of opportunity to accept and love myself as a person, in addition to being a gay person.
This man married and had 2 children to try and deny his homosexuality. He turned to cocaine and alcohol before deciding to accept who he is. He knows other married men in similar situations.
Friends of my wife, a couple that used to come over to my house to visit me and my wife. We knew about each other, but his wife knew nothing about his homosexuality.
Ambrose Sims is not only a leading gay activist, he is also a Miami Beach police officer. He has overcome external stigmas and the internal conflicts of coming out of the closet.
I feel it's important to remember that the only way that the bigotry of straight society can destroy you or make you feel inferior is that you believe all the negative things that you are hearing.
In Officer Sims' case, as in the case of many newly open gays, the struggle of gay teens, their need for role models, is what convinced them to wage an open campaign for equal rights.
I still consider myself an social activist, and the number one reason is because I'm concerned about the youth of this country. And the youth that will grow up as gay, they need positive models of strong people who are willing to stand up and speak out against discrimination.
Things are opening up a bit, you know, but I mean, people always have their own ideas and their own beliefs, and you can't really push through that because that's the way they were raised, you know, but I think that overall the gay community is a really great group. You know, there's a lot of really great, you know, nice gay guys, you know, that have futures, they have, you know, smart people, you know, I mean, I think my future's going to be great.
As you know, it's impossible to capture all the complexities of this issue in just 30 minutes. However, we do hope we were able to bring you a closer look at a minority subculture that is gaining political and economic power and will no longer be ignored. A power that no doubt will force this issue into the front lines of the upcoming decade, not only here in South Florida, but across the nation. What gay activists are trying to do is create a distinction, not whether you condone homosexuality, but whether or not America believes homosexuals should be entitled to equal protections under the law. It's an emotionally charged issue that will have to be tackled at the polls. In September, the nation will be closely watching what happens in Broward County. No matter the outcome, it's clear South Florida will set a legal precedent for what's ahead in the 90s. Thank you for joining us. I'm Giselle Fernandez. Good evening.
I'm John Hambrick. Stay tuned for a Channel 6 Action News Health Watch special, Oh, My Aching Back.
This has been a Channel 6 Action News special presentation.